I'm Theo.
And I'm Juliette.
And this is Apologies Accepted.
We offer an entertaining look at some of the big issues in history by examining public apologies of the famous and infamous.
We're looking at politicians, serial killers, actors, and you.
Send us a public apology you would like to make, and we'll read it on the air and give you a chance to redeem yourself, or just get some guilt off your shoulders.
We're here for you. Once a week, maybe more if you're really, really sorry.
Hi, everybody. This is Apologies Accepted,
the podcast,
which I slurred. And this is Apologies Accepted, the podcast, as opposed to Apologies Accepted, the movie, and Apologies Accepted, the book, and Apologies Accepted, the TV series, which are all coming soon.
Right, yeah.
Theo's working on those.
As soon as we write them.
As soon as you write them.
Oh, that's very much a we project.
So, hey, Theo, how are you?
Juliette, I am fine. It is good. We're in Palm Springs on, feels like permanent vacation, but only because it's a resort area.
Nice.
Yeah, it's hot, but it's nice.
I'm jealous. I want to be in Palm Springs.
You and everybody should be jealous because it has been a week of, what should we eat? What should we eat again? What should we look forward to eating?
And then you went to LA to eat.
Right. Where do we go to eat?
That's so nice.
What shall we drink? What do you want to drink? Let's drink everything. Okay. So last night we went out, and it's the first time I've been out in a crowded bar.
Oh, my.
In a year and some odd months, right? So since the pandemic hit, right? And I mean, small bar, must have been like 300 people. No mask, shoulder to shoulder, the old, crowded disco. I mean, it wasn't really a disco floor, but just imagine that kind of crowd, right?
Wow.
And it didn't feel weird at all. It felt completely regular and normal. And so much so that when I saw somebody with a mask on inside the club, I was like, oh, lady, who are you kidding?
Wow.
Yeah. And then, of course, because we're recording on Sunday mornings at 8 a.m., I said to James and Terry, hey, I have to be in bed by 10:30. This is like 9 o'clock, right? And I got a bunch of, no, you can't. Why are you going to go out? Yeah, you always go to bed so early. And I was like, listen, I have one thing in my life that I have to show up for on time, prepared, and ready. So, I'm going to honor that commitment to myself, to the Godhead within me, right? And it's just my obligation. Like this is what I have to do. And they were like, "No, you're mean. You can't." I was like, why the fuck do you need me to stay awake?
Yeah.
Do you only exist if I see you?
That's right.
What's up?
They can't have fun without you, obviously.
Oh, no, that's quite the opposite. Everybody has fun the minute I'm gone, right? They just want me around so they can tell me about all the fun they had while I was in the bathroom. We saw a woman in a gorilla walking down the street.
So did you stay, or did they let you leave, or did they come home with you? Or? I need to know.
I'm one of those horrible people where it's like 3 vodka soda waters later, and I'm oh, hey!
I'm staying forever!
Podcast?
Well, you seem quite chipper for having been totally drunk last night and staying up late.
No, not totally drunk. Just
okay.
What's a nice fun word, like
tipsy?
Stronger than tipsy, but not blackout. I guess that's called drunk. I only have two ends of the spectrum that I ever inhabit:
tipsy and blitzed.
Tipsy and blackout. There's no point in drinking.
Equally fun. So
okay.
Totally. So that's great. I'm so glad you are taking a break because you needed one after everything that's been going on. We all need a break after everything that's been going on.
The world
but you guys
break.
In particular. So that's awesome. And you sold your house. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. And I'm just going to say the stress levels of selling a home. Who would have ever thought that little tiny things like, I don't know, make sure the house is cleaned when you move out would become these massive, like, red flag waving, they're unreasonable, right? Yeah. So anyway, we are done, and it is so nice to know that the house is going to a new owner who will love it and value it in the same way that we have. And they're very excited. We're very happy for them. It's a win-win. And why not make it a win-win?
It's totally a win-win.
Yeah,
there's no other way to look at it.
I
really.
win more, but
it's a total win for you. But it's also a win for them because they get a nice house. I mean, there's no arguing with that fact.
Exactly,
it's a lovely house.
And really, they won more. So. But there you go. It's fine. That's why it's a win-win.
So you're going to be going back to Austin and find a place to live and all that kind of stuff.
What?
That'll be fun.
No, my life is permanent vacation. No.
I don't see why not. I would totally stay in Austin and make someone else do the moving and everything for me, and have James find the house you're going to live in. And I would stay not in Austin, in Palm Springs, and then just show up in Austin when everything's ready for you.
Right, exactly.
Have your people take care of it all. So.
Show up and dust.
Don't even dust. You got people for that too. But yeah, congratulations again. So that's awesome.
Hooray for me. What's going on with you?
As far as me, I've done absolutely nothing, although I am planning a trip to Morocco with my cousin, which is going to be totally fun.
You've done absolutely nothing other than plan a trip to Morocco.
Well, yeah, basically. And work. So I deserve 2 weeks off in March to go to wherever I'm going, Marrakesh and Fez, and I don't know where all yet, but it'll be fun, and we'll get private tours and things like that, so it won't be, totally touristy, but it'll be pretty touristy considering we're white women going to Morocco, and we need a little bit of guidance once we get there. We will have it, so it'll be good. You're
gonna have a great time, and remind me that I need to give you the name of this shop in Marrakesh. It's a women's collective, and it's for battered and abused women who have left their husbands for families, and they live in a shelter, and they make linen shirts and napkins.
Oh, totally up my alley.
Yes, and so I'm one of those terrible people. It's like you can never say anything that I don't have a story for, right? So my friend Kristen was like, "Oh, you're going to Marrakesh, the Women's Collective," and I was like, "Awesome! That is exactly my speed. That is what I want to go and see and do." And so I walked in, and there was a woman in a wheelchair, right?
Yeah.
And she came up to me, and in French, right, in which I speak zero of, was like, "Hello, good morning, and what can I help you? What are you looking for?" And I was specifically looking for linen dinner napkins for Kristen, which is why she gave me the name of the shop. She was like, "I need 6 of them, and they have to be white." And I was like, "Okay,
ideal.
I'll go do that for you." And so went in, and I found 6 napkins, and nothing was priced other than some shirts. And the shirts that I saw had like a 65 euro tag on them, and I was like, 65 euros for a handmade linen shirt? Okay, yep, this is great. And so I took these napkins up to the register, and from her wheelchair, she punched in the figures into the cash register, and then told me it was 200 euros.
Wow. For the napkins?
For the napkins.
Holy shit.
For 6 linen napkins.
Oh my God.
And that's exactly what I said in my head. It's like, holy shit.
I said that out loud.
Oh my God. No,
did you say it
because
to her?
You know what? You can't tell a woman in a wheelchair in a shelter for battered women that her napkins cost too much money.
I'd be like, aren't you supposed to bargain anyway? I don't know how that works.
It felt like a real legitimate shop. And maybe there was some, but
they must be beautiful napkins.
They were no more beautiful than what you could get on Amazon.
Bought some from Amazon.
So, here's the thing: it was for the cause, is what I told myself as I handed over money. Okay. Yeah. So that's my story.
That's a great story. I can't wait to have that happen to me when I go.
Just be prepared, right? And
I'll be like, $200. Holy shit!
And you know what? I'll bet to this day that woman's like, oh my God, I charged that poor man $200. It was $20.
Probably. Awesome. So did you guys, when you went, well, we should talk about this off the podcast.
Welcome to our new podcast.
What exactly did you do? Yeah, going to Morocco by Theo and Juliette. We forgot to say, I'm not Theo.
Oh, I'm not Juliette.
As always.
Not going to Morocco with her, and I'm sad.
No, unfortunately, you're not, but you've already been, so screw you. I'm going with my cousin, who is my like a sister to me, and she's my mother's identical twin's daughter. So we're.
Oh wow! So she is actually really like a sister to you.
She's genetically my half sister. Yes. So there you are. Running out of things to say.
That's a bad sign for this episode.
This podcast. I'll have things to say about the podcast topic, but I have nothing more to say about my life because it's just that dull. But today we are going to talk about Billie Eilish, and I'm sure that everyone listening knows much more about Billie Eilish already than I ever will. She is 19 years old. When she was a child, which is not very long ago, she was homeschooled by her parents, both of whom are also musicians. And they're like, her mother was a teacher and an actor, and her father is an actor, and they're these very creative, smart people. So that's where she gets a lot of it. And she wrote her first song at 11. And I mean, I can imagine, I probably wrote my first song at 3, but it was a piece of shit. And I'm sure her first song was lovely. So her brother, who's 3 or 4 years older than she is, wrote a song for his band called Ocean Eyes when Billie was 14, Billie Eilish, and she recorded it, and they uploaded the song to SoundCloud, and it got hundreds of thousands of listens in the first 2 weeks.
Isn't that interesting? Because I did a little bit of research on Billie Eilish because I don't know anything about her, and I tripped over the same story, right?
Yeah.
Except, she wrote the song. And it was for her dance teacher who asked her to write a song so that he could choreograph, right?
Really?
Yeah. And so this is weird, right?
Yeah.
And I've got to say, I'm feeling a little played by Billie Eilish. And we'll see, right, as we go through this. But so my source for the Ocean Eyes, the origin of Ocean Eyes, the song that got uploaded to SoundCloud, comes from Billie Eilish it was either Vogue or Rolling Stone interview.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think my source was Wikipedia.
Oh, okay. Wah, wah.
What does that mean?
Oh, it means Wikipedia is great and then terrible. So you can't always trust everything.
But I don't know. Let me look it up real quick and see it's really important that we know how this song was written. Well, we can't possibly proceed with the podcast.
And also whether or not Billie Eilish is a genius Gen Z internet manipulating maven.
So Wikipedia says Phineas had written and produced Ocean Eyes originally for his band. And then Songfacts says it's by Billie Eilish. RepublicWorld.com says it was written by Phineas. But different people are saying that Phineas wrote it. I don't know. There's no telling. Are you sure it wasn't a different song that she wrote?
Okay, let me take this back. So you're right. Okay, so sorry, everybody. This is what I get for relying on my memory. So Phineas wrote and produced the song Ocean Eyes in their bedrooms. And the song was meant for Eilish's dance teacher who'd asked for a song to choreograph a routine to. But it went viral essentially overnight, and the industry came calling the next day.
Okay.
And yeah, that's where I'm kind of like my bullshit meter's ticking. Because it just feels like this mythos is being created.
It does. I mean, how would a song get hundreds of thousands of listens in 2 weeks? How does that happen?
Well, I mean, on one hand, you would say like,
publicity.
oh my God, if a song is so amazing. And I listened to Ocean Eyes, and it was pretty.
It's a nice song.
And it was in the vein of songs that I like, right? But on no level did it speak to me to the point where I was like, I've got to tell my friend to listen to this song. So I have zero idea. And I know shit happens organically, and
it does happen.
All into that.
Could happen. Could be true.
But does it?
Don't know. So we do know that Billie Eilish was then picked up and packaged by a company called Platoon, which is basically a record label, but they don't take as much money from their artists as record labels do. And Platoon is basically has since been bought by Apple. She also got a publicist and got somehow, maybe through the publicist, connected to Chanel, who helped her form her overall initial image, which seems to me to have been that of a sort of a gothy, over-eyelinered teenager with green and black hair. But we'll talk more about her image later, unless you want to talk about it now.
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay.
Because, I'm going to say things like, oh, she reminds me of X. Oh, that's a straight, reiteration of artist Y, right?
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about that for sure as we go on. And she's this gothy teenager, and her first album, which is called When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go?, was inspired by the movie The Babadook, which is funny. I don't know how that happened. It doesn't seem very Babadooky to me, but whatever. And since her Vogue cover, her image has totally changed, and now she's sort of a classic blonde.
Right, blonde bombshell. She's gone from goth, teen to, beautiful blonde bombshell.
Blonde bombshell, absolutely.
Yeah,
she
and people have thoughts and feelings about all of that.
Of course they do. Yeah. Despite the Vogue cover, I did not realize that she was as famous as she is. I thought she was like... I was going to list another artist, but I don't know how famous that artist was either. So I thought she was, as you were saying earlier, just sort of a niche artist that people, some people are very into. But she has received numerous awards, including 7 Grammy Awards, 2 American Music Awards, 2 MTV Europe Music Awards, 3 MTV Video Music Awards, 2 music-related Guinness World Records, 1 Brit Award, and 3 Billboard Music Awards. And in 2019, she was placed on the inaugural Time 100 Next list. She is the youngest person, second person ever, and first female artist to win the 4 main Grammy categories, which are Best New Artist, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Album of the Year in the same year. So she thinks that she would be called a rap artist if she were black, and she doesn't think she's pop at all. But I think she's about as poppy as
I've listened to a handful of her songs, and on no level would she be a rap artist.
But no, I think maybe R&B.
Yeah, maybe.
If she were black, but not rap, and certainly she's very pop. She's super pop.
It's a blend of things, right? But
it's modern pop.
Yeah, I mean, fine. And on no level would this qualify as rap.
I don't think so. But she does have a beautiful voice. I will give her that. She has a beautiful soprano voice, and Doreen St. Felix, or Saint Felice, of The New Yorker, called it a husky, slurring voice that she can thin out to reedy, which I think is pretty accurate. And a lot of her earlier songs in particular are similar to each other, and they have similar phrasing, but some of the later ones, like Oxytocin, are a little bit more jazzy. And I'm interested to see how she will use her voice as she gets older.
There is definitely a template for Billie Eilish to follow in terms of what does she do with not only her image, but with her production. What does a Billie Eilish song like? No. Oh. Yes, thank you. That's without vodka this morning.
How
Yippee.
It's contagious. Hopefully that template does not include her killing herself at 27.
Oh, well, so she has already said that 27 is ancient. But it was like, honey, you have no idea. Get ready.
She's so young.
I remember when I felt the same.
I know. Even her songs are just the songwriting is so young.
It's so young. I know. Ocean Eyes, your ocean eyes could hypnotize. What a surprise, your ocean eyes.
No, I like that song.
When They Smize.
It's a sweet song. Yeah. So yeah, When They Smize. When I started researching this podcast, I didn't know anything about Billie Eilish, and I really wanted to like her. And then the more I researched it, I decided that I hated her. And then this morning I was listening to some of her songs, and I thought, these aren't too bad. So I think I'm back to kind of wanting to like her again.
So I watched a couple of videos with with Billie Eilish, of course, duh. And I found her really annoying in real life. Right. Now I get a lot.
Oh, did you watch the documentary?
No, because that was 2 hours and 13 minutes of my life that I was never going to get back.
I could only take it for about 10 minutes, and then I was like, these people are super annoying.
Well, right. And so super annoying, right? Real punky, and not in a like punk rock way, but just in a skateboard punk way, right? And what she had to say, there was very little of it that I found to be intriguing or interesting or specifically clever or insightful. I'm asking for a lot from a 19-year-old I know, right? But then when I started reading pieces on her by music journalists, so Rolling Stone, well, Vogue's not music, but I got back into, I really like her. So there's a lot about the structure of her life, and her artistic process that resonates with me on a personal level, where I'm like, oh, this is the kind of daughter I would love to have, right?
Right.
That I would love to have raised.
Yes. I just wonder how much of that is the packaging and how much of the writing is her brother and that's the sexist thing to say kind of, but I just wonder how much of the story that we're told about her is authentic.
Well, so in the way of famous brother and sister duos, and I bring you, ladies and gentlemen, Donnie and Marie Osmond, Sonny and Cher. I'm totally kidding about Sonny and Cher. I had to put that fire out before it started raging. No, it was a joke. That was just a dumb joke. But let's look at Karen and Richard Carpenter.
Yeah.
Right? She had a beautiful voice. Did she write songs? Maybe, probably, yeah. Was he a genius piano player? No. But, could he write some songs? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so on I'm sure there are others that I'm not thinking of, right? Because the other day when I was thinking about brother and sister singer-songwriters, I felt like there were 10. But now I can only really think of the Carpenters. The kind of the behind-the-scenes guy is the one that's doing a lot of the behind-the-scenes work. And then you've got the front, and that is typically usually the sister.
The image. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
So I'm going to throw them in that Sonny and Cher camp. And
I'm going to say at this point that I do like some of Billie Eilish's songs. I like Ocean Eyes. I like some of the other ones. They're catchy. They're sweet. The videos are interesting, and in the documentary, the little bit of the documentary that I watched, they showed her creating one of the videos. So having her mother pose for this, how she wanted to do the video, and sort of acting out the way the video was going to be. And then I this morning saw the video that was the result of it, and it was actually good. So she has some talent, obviously, unless that all was made up and somebody else wrote the video and just faked her.
Oh, no, I have the real feeling that, and because I have this feeling, it makes it 100% true.
Absolutely.
That they are legitimate, real people, and this is all 100% them.
Okay.
The bits that I picked up about her family and their interplay, right? Mm-hmm. It feels... I'm going to use the word legitimate again, but I was thinking about this morning. Remember Balloon Boy?
Yeah.
Right? And the family that faked that their son
that he had taken
some
off.
Some 6-year-old crawled into a giant hot air balloon, and it went across the state of Arizona or whatever for like 6 hours. And the whole nation was just like, oh my God, there's a 6-year-old 5,000 feet in the air. Right. And we watched that balloon come down, and then the kid was found, and everything was great. And the family was like, oh my God, we're so scientific. This was just an experiment we were doing in our backyard. We're so goofy.
Weird.
And it was 100% faked, right? It was a giant hoax. I think the dad went to jail over this, I think. But I don't know. They had to pay money for all the police and fire trucks and all that were involved. And that was fake, right? But Eilish's family feels real and is what this Balloon Boy's family was pretending to be.
Okay. Sure. That makes sense. I'm willing to buy that Billie Eilish is an authentic talent.
Okay, good. Now I've made that case. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
So the reason that we're here talking about Billie Eilish, if anyone was curious, is that so everyone knows that there's been a rise in anti-Asian hate crimes during the pandemic, and partly due to that asshole whose name I won't mention, who blamed the pandemic itself on the Wuhan flu or the Kung flu or whatever he was calling it. So among all this, Billie Eilish made an apology in June for a several years old TikTok video that showed her mouthing an anti-Asian slur and apparently imitating an Asian accent. So at the time, she was 13 or 14, so this was several years ago, and she was lip-syncing to a song called Fish, which I haven't listened to, by Tyler, the Creator, who she's called one of her major influences.
You're in luck, because I listened to that song.
Oh, did you?
Well, I read the lyrics.
Okay. Yeah. That's close. So was it bad?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Was it bad? I'm going to say, I mean, we will get into Billie Eilish's apology, right?
Yeah.
And we'll circle back on this.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So the TikTok that where she was lip syncing to the song called "Fish" went viral to the usual reaction, which caused her to apologize, and we'll read the apology in a bit. But also, just last Friday, which was July 9th, 2021, an interview from 2018 with Montreality surfaced, in which Billie was asked what her favorite cartoon character was. Did you hear about this?
No.
Okay, so Billie Eilish chose Cindy McPherson from the Boondocks, who is a white girl with a blaccent who has many stereotypically black interests and is oblivious to racial issues. And Billie Eilish explains in the interview, "I think my favorite character honestly would be Cindy from the Boondocks. That's like me. That's me if I did all the things I thought about doing. If I didn't have good judgment. But who knows if I have good judgment."
Oh, I can tell you, Billie. Me. Let me help you.
Yeah, not so good. She praised Cindy's badass reputation and mentioned several times how much she loved the fact that Cindy always defended her friends. So before I go on more about examples of this, I just want to mention that if you didn't know, which you probably did, Billie Eilish wears baggy clothes. She says it's to direct attention away from her body, but in all honesty, her style of dress echoes black artists like Aaliyah, Da Brat, TLC, Rihanna, and Missy Elliott.
Oh, 100% Missy Elliott, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's just the same sort of outfits. And I don't think, it may be in part to direct attention away from her body, but which is not stick thin like women are supposed to be. But as her latest evolution into a blonde bombshell shows, she does have a very conventionally attractive shape.
Well, she has gorgeous eyes, and she's young skin. I'm so jealous.
Yes.
What are they calling that? Androcrine? No, that's not it.
I don't know.
What are all the cute people saying that Hillary Clinton drinks out of babies?
Oh my God, I don't even know.
Anyway, she beautiful, young, healthy, vibrant, right?
Yes, she's lovely.
But she is wearing a corset.
Yes.
Well, I mean, which is fine, but
it says something if you're wearing a corset. What does that say? I mean,
well, she will tell you what that says.
Oh, she does?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Finding S, and here all these notes. I have here we go. So she does have something to say about the corset, and what she explained in an interview with Vogue, and I'll just quote straight from the article. Although Eilish wanted to explore the beauty of the corset, the shapes, lacing design, she was also drawn to the original restrictive function. If I'm honest with you, I hate my stomach, and that's why. She thinks that's shallow. I disagree. This is the writer speaking. It's hard enough for anyone to negotiate the conflict between intellectually rejecting patriarchal beauty standards and hardwired personal frustration, let alone when you're one of the most scrutinized teenagers in the world and your body is, as Eilish calls out, your deepest insecurity. So, fair enough. She wanted to be pretty, and she wanted to fit into those beauty standards for this photo shoot.
Yes. Okay. Well, I mean, we could go on about that for a long time, but let's not.
Okay. Well, maybe you could. I have zero idea or anything, but I'm a guy, and it's a different world for me. Yay!
So she talks about also personas. In an interview with Vogue, she noted that several artists that she likes, like Tyler, the Creator, and Lana Del Rey, excel at making honest music that's nonetheless filtered through alter egos or personas. She made a distinction between that kind of character-driven writing and that of other less, quote, authentic artists. She said, there's a difference between lying in a song and writing a story. There are tons of songs where people are just lying. There's a lot of that in rap right now. It's like, I got my AK-47, and I'm like, what? You don't have a gun. That's posturing, and that's not what I'm doing. But according to Rob Dozier at Paper Mag, what's most frustrating about these comments from Eilish is not just that they demonstrate an ignorance of the facts that contribute to hip-hop being able to resonate with so many, but rather the fact that artists can find inspiration in hip-hop and other forms of black cultural expression, borrow from it, and experience a level of success that young black artists rarely ever reach. What it also illustrates is that a perceived closeness to black culture doesn't translate to a greater understanding or desire to understand the lived experience of black people.
Yeah.
Zariah Taylor, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, it's that classic story of white artists borrowing from black experience.
Black culture. Like Justin Bieber. And did Justin Bieber get shit for it?
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of Justin Timberlake?
Elton John. Not Elton John. Elvis. They both start with an E-L, and so they're the same person.
Right.
Yeah, but
Elvis didn't get any shit for it.
Well, not in the day, right?
Not in the day.
He got praise for
and the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you could just go on, and they did not get any shit in the day for stealing from black artists.
And now we have a different understanding of the evolution of music, of the American music scene.
Zariah Taylor in Vox Atlanta says, from her style to her accent, Billie has hopefully inadvertently taken much of her persona from black people. Billie's style, which is reminiscent of black style icons such as Aaliyah and Dapper Dan, features hoop earrings, chains, Jordans, oversized baggy designer clothes, and gaudy acrylic nails. In addition to her clothing, one of the things that has helped Billie establish herself is her personality. Billie's mannerisms and slang can be seen as derived from black culture. Billie not only uses African-American vernacular English, but she also uses a blaccent, something that her brother, who was raised in the same household, does not have. So she's clearly taking from black culture, and it's not something that her family was raised with. So I would say that's inauthentic, regardless of what Billie says about it. And Billie has credited her style to black artists, and she's agreed with critics who said that if she were black, she wouldn't have won as many awards. And she's even gone on Instagram to call out people who say all lives matter. So I wouldn't say that she is overtly racist or consciously racist, but I think there are some problematic things with her style.
I would say that she is 19, but really we're looking at her when she was 17, right? And she's just imitating the inspirations, the heroes, the people that she likes listening to, the artists that she respects, and may not have appreciated it's not even nuance, right? It's just didn't appreciate the appropriation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she didn't. And I mean, I can't blame that all on her age, because I think, even when I was young, which was a long time ago, and was listening to, I was around her age and was listening to Public Enemy and things like that, I knew better than to mouth certain words, and not just the N-word.
What other words?
Well, I mean, if they're, they'll tell you.
You can't say it. Can you type them?
I can't say them, no.
Can you spell them? I'm curious.
Even the word that she used, I wouldn't have used.
Oh, well, I mean, fair enough there. I've just always found that a dumb word.
Well, sure, it's dumb, but it offends people, so I'm not going to say it.
Right.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
So you're not saying words that offend people. Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of words I can't say, except for
any more. That's any
words.
word.
I'll say swear words. But that's it. Should we talk about her apology itself, or do we want to talk more about anything else?
I'm going to say that before we move into the apology, the bit that I kind of miss is, how is she so famous, right?
Yeah.
But maybe we dive into the apology and the discussion around how is she so famous will come up afterwards. Because the only reason we were talking about Billie Eilish is because she's so famous. And we are two people who didn't know who she was last week. I mean, yeah, I knew she was a singer. I could have named a song or two, right?
Yeah.
But could I have given you anything else? No.
Well, we're obviously not her target market. I mean, she's obviously going out for the young people, and we're clearly not young anymore.
She is missing out. Missing out. And I don't know about you, lady, but I am still a trendsetter. I stayed up until 11:30 last night.
Oh my God, amazing. Okay, let's talk about her apology. Okay. I'm not going to read most of it, but not all of it. It starts out, I love you guys, and many of you have been asking me to address this, and this is something that I want to address because I'm being labeled something that I am not. There's a video edit going around of me when I was 13 or 14 where I mouthed a word from a song that at the time I didn't know was a derogatory term used against members of the Asian community. I am appalled and embarrassed and want to barf that I ever mouthed along to that word. This song was the only time I'd ever heard that word, as it was never used around me by anyone in my family. Regardless of my ignorance and age at the time, nothing excuses the fact that it was hurtful. And for that, I am sorry. The other video in that edited clip is me speaking in a silly, gibberish, made-up voice, something I started doing as a kid and have done my whole life when talking to my pets, friends, and family. It is absolute gibberish and just me goofing off, and it is in no way an imitation of anyone or any language, accent, or culture in the slightest. And then it goes on about that for a bit, blah, blah, blah. My heart is broken. I'm sorry I caused hurt to others. I did not mean for any of my actions to have caused hurt to others, and it absolutely breaks my heart that it is being labeled now in a way that might cause pain to people hearing it. I not only believe in, but have always worked hard to use my platform to fight for inclusion, kindness, tolerance, equity, and equality. We all need to continue having conversations, listening, and learning. I hear you, and I love you. Thank you for taking the time to read this.
Which
so that's reasonable.
Is a very, reasonable, well thought out, personal apology, particularly for a 19-year-old. I don't know that at 19 mine would have been quite as wholehearted.
I think she had some help writing it.
She for sure had some experience with people apologizing for racist statements because 5 days earlier her boyfriend released a statement on Instagram, I believe the kids call it these days. And although it's a very different apology from what Billie Eilish put, she certainly was aware that sometimes people have to apologize for, a racist thing they may have inadvertently said in her case.
Yeah, so her boyfriend is Matthew Tyler Vorse. He's 29 years old, boo. And he also apologized around the same time for saying racist and homophobic things on social media. And Billie Eilish's people had no comments about his apology, but I think that her apology came out very close to the same time.
But just a handful of days later. And I find this is still about her apology, so it's going to sound like I'm a bit off track, but I found this whole thing about her apology intriguing because she has a new album coming out on July 30th of this year.
Yeah.
So just a few days away from in the future, it's coming out. And so how did this TikTok video get released? Who in the world would sit down and look at all of Billie Eilish's Instagram videos and tweets and photos and pull out the racist bits, right? Specifically the Asian racist bits. It's not a big question of like, why do that? But in a way, why do that? And I was like, is this a PR thing? Did somebody hey, let's get this out here so you can apologize for it and move on, right?
Maybe.
But what I think happened is that somebody was like, oh, I really love Billie Eilish. Oh, she's dating this guy. Let's spy on him. Google stalk. And then tripping over what he has said in the past. So he said some not horrific things, but he's used the N-word with the soft A ending, right? In tweets. And he's used the gay slur with an F in a few tweets, but not necessarily calling anybody a name, but he's used that language, right?
Right.
And he said something about Adele. I was going to call her Odell. Hi, America. That's and world. That's my dog. And he said something about Adele, who, for some reason, I really want to call Odell, about her weight, right?
Oh.
And, well, he said she looked like the British Miss Piggy, right?
Oh.
So, not horrible, not the worst thing anyone's ever said, but,
That's terrible.
Why you got to talk about Odell's weight?
Yeah, right? Why? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what'd she ever do to you? Why do you care? So, all right, cool. And so maybe what happened was one of her fans found out, oh, gosh, he is terrible, and she's dating this terrible, horrible, racist, homophobic guy, and then went trolling through her stuff and tripped over this. But the videos that started it all are tightly edited clips of her mouthing the C word for Asians, speaking in... I heard it. It didn't quite sound blaccent to me, but I'm going to take everybody's word for it that that's what it was. And then a made-up language that she claims is not mock Asian language sounds, but to me certainly sounded like any 8-year-old pretending that they speak Mandarin.
Right.
Right. And so, so that all gets released, and that's what lights up TikTok and Twitter, and that's what prompts her apology. And I just find it very interesting that both her adult male boyfriend, of course, that's what boyfriend means is male, but adult boyfriend at 29 years old, there is so many alarm bells ringing, right?
Get over it.
About this. I mean, I give it a week. He's 10 years older. Sorry, not to be ageist, but, the difference between 19 and 30.
It's huge. It's slightly predatory on his part, I think. I mean, and he's a nobody. He's just a nobody. And he's dating Billie Eilish, who's like the most famous woman, practically, bar several others in the world.
Certainly the most famous 19-year-old in the world.
Probably, yeah. So her apology itself, when we look at the value of the apology, I think the fact that she was homeschooled could be used to explain how she was unfamiliar with the slur. I think that's a stretch, but maybe, her family probably didn't ever use it. Maybe she didn't ever see it on television. I don't know. It's possible.
Sure she comes from a very lovely, hippie, granola, crunchy, liberal family that does not use this type of language in the house. But Eilish does... Why am I calling her Eilish? I don't know. I like saying that name. She does credit the internet with raising her. I mean, I was raised by a television set and TV dinners, so that explains me.
Totally.
So if you...
And she was raised by the internet, and I think she would have come across the slur.
100%, especially if you listen to rap.
I think she knew what she was doing. Yeah, and I do think she knew what she was doing, but I also recognize that she was very young, and I hope that we will all be forgiven for the things that we do when we're in our early teens, because we were not very smart. Our brains were not fully developed. And that's all our parents' fault. They should have done better jobs parenting us. And so, Mom, thanks. This again is all on you. I had nothing to do with it. Everything is Mom's responsibility, of course.
100%.
So I rate this apology a 5 out of 10. So she does apologize, but she doesn't really take responsibility. And she claims that she didn't know what she was saying and that she wasn't actually mocking Asians. She sort of acknowledged the impact her actions had, and she does say she'll continue to listen and learn, but she continues her appropriation of Black culture. So I give it a 5 out of 10, which is not very high.
I give it a 6, and I give it a 6 because I'm with you on the 5. My extra reason is it does feel like she wrote it herself. Maybe it went through, a PR department somewhere, right? Undoubtedly. Yeah. But it did feel personal. And so on that front, and she released it on her Instagram versus like giving an interview to the New York Times, right? Right. So that feels direct. And so an extra point for me. And Billie, I know you'll sleep well tonight knowing that you received a 5.5 from Apologies Accepted on your apology.
That's right, yeah. But I do like her music, so I don't know that now I'm back to not liking her so much. So I'm a little disappointed that that's where this came out. But I do like some of her songs. I don't think I'm going to go out and buy her album or, wait by the internet for her latest release. But
I will listen to it, and I will listen to it once to see if there's anything on there that grabs me immediately. I am very much all about, like, the sad girl with the guitar. That's my music.
Who's your favorite sad girl with a guitar?
Oh, Rachel Yamagata.
I don't know her. Okay.
Oh, sorry, Mariah. She actually is really a musician.
I'll have to look into her.
She's very poppy, but, I do like her a lot. I joined her fan club, which was just an email list. But, for me with the Billie Eilish apology, I kind of feel like everybody's missing the boat here. Maybe that's a bad analogy to use since we're talking about the C word and Asians. That joke fell flat.
Boy, that was a stretch.
We'll leave that in. Well, America, this is how I work when I am just on the fly riffing. But the real issue for me isn't, Billie Eilish said the C word. Everyone, you're upset at the wrong thing. Have you looked at these lyrics from Tyler, the Creator, and the song Fish?
No.
Okay, I mean, hi. Really? Let's get ready. I'm not going to sing it.
No.
Here, we'll just start. Slip it in her drink, and in the blink of an eye, I can make a white girl look C-word. Don't know what to think, because last time I attempted this shit, the judge ordered me to see a shrink. Started with a link, intended her to meet me at the local odd future Wolfgang skating rink. We will be uniquely in sync. Already fucking, and we only met last week. We're both young, not yet antique. La 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 la. I mean, and then it just gets to places where, sure, here we go. No, I'm not a freak. I'm merely a creep that neighbors by the creek say that my house stinks. It reeks of a street girl, streaks of red. We're going to stop right there. It is a problem.
It gets worse? Wow.
Oh yeah. The P word and the red. And so, it's very, serial killer, inside the mind of a serial killer. And it's okay. Yes, it's musical expression. It's artistic. I'm not here to say that can't be there. Right.
Right.
Hi, the real issue isn't that Billie Eilish mouthed this word. It's that this guy's writing a song about date raping and mutilating women.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I don't know how famous he is. Do we know how famous he is?
Well, Billie Eilish likes him, so he's pretty famous now.
So, yeah, that's true. Yikes. I'm sorry I have learned about the song.
Oh, same. Same. Like, as I was reading it, I was like, this is the fucking story. Not that she said this word, but that these words exist in this order at all.
I bet he never apologized.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
Of course not. No. He's probably still writing the same type of song.
Maybe this was a one-off. I don't know anything about him, and I didn't bother to
His other
learn
songs
anything
are about
further.
Bunnies and roses, true love.
Right. I did look at the boyfriend though for a bit because I was like, all right, let's see. You're an adult, and you're dating a teenager. Cool, and I guess it kind of works because that rule of like how young is too young to date?
Half plus 7.
Bingo. We went to the same school. Yes.
So it's like 15.
30, 15, 22. He should be dating somebody who's 22, and that
she's a little young for him still.
She is 3 years outside of the allowable,
the legally permissible range.
Outside of the rule that we both grew up with.
Right. Right.
However, I knew that rule. I don't know. I probably knew that because I was a young person dating older people.
Oh yeah, probably.
Probably one of them told me.
I was just thinking now, how old would the people that we would date? How young could we date? And it's like 35 or something, and I'm like, holy shit! What would I have to say to a 35-year-old?
That's exactly what I go to. What would I say to a 35-year-old? And it's like you're not dating a 35-year-old to have conversations. So it doesn't matter what you would say to a 35-year-old. Who cares? Right?
I think 35. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead. Carry on with whatever you.
Oh no, I hate that entire thought. It's like 35 sounds really old to me. Is that too young?
I think it's too young.
Yeah, well,
whatever.
I'm not in any danger of dating a 35-year-old, so we're
You're
fine.
Married.
Yeah. But so looking at the boyfriend, he's an actor, right? He's been in a couple of things. He was in, I'm real excited about this one. He was in the remake of a Lifetime movie called Mother, May I Sleep with Danger.
I've heard of that movie.
Yeah, originally it starred Tori Spelling in 1996.
I think that's a classic movie.
Well, it's a classic Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
It's just a classic Lifetime movie. But in the update, which he plays Banquo's ghost, and I didn't bother watching this movie, it's been updated so that it is now lesbian and vampires.
Okay, great.
So it's a young girl who goes away to college and meets a girl and falls in love and brings the girl home to her parents, and the girl's a vampire, right?
Oh.
And then I don't know what happens after that, because I was just like, lesbians and vampires, I mean, could you make it any sexier to a straight white male?
Right.
I don't know, white male has to be white there.
Interesting. Yeah, I missed out on all of this. So that's Tyler, the creator?
No, that's her boyfriend.
I don't know how I got that confused.
Let's now just trash Tyler, the creator.
Because her boyfriend's middle name is Tyler. So maybe that's how I got confused. I don't know.
And for a quick comparison, I have his apology. He got called out on TikTok and Twitter for some of his old tweets. And his account used to be public because he's an actor. So his account's public. It's now private and locked down. But he did post, I want to apologize for the things I wrote on social media in the past. The language I used was hurtful and irresponsible, and I understand how offensive those words are. Whether it was a lyric, a quote, or just me being dumb, it does not matter. I'm ashamed and deeply sorry that I used them in any context. It is not how I was raised. Clearly it was. And it is not what I stand for. I shouldn't have used this language in the first place, and I won't use it again. I am so sorry for the hurt that I have caused. I take full responsibility and continue to hold myself accountable for my actions.
That's a reasonable apology.
Yeah, by our standards, he meets, all the criteria. It's so great.
As long as he's living it out, whatever.
I mean, the only thing I can point to, if this was a story about him, I'd be like, okay, that's a solid apology, fine, cool. But you're dating a 19-year-old, so I have such an issue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. It's just. Well, it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. She'll learn. She'll break up with him, or he'll break up with her.
Let's tweet about it.
All out.
Apparently, if you do that, people get real upset about stuff.
So that's pretty much all I have to say about this issue.
That's pretty much all I have to say about that woman, Billie Eilish.
That woman.
Yeah, it's all rather. If you would ask me, will you ever do a Billie Eilish apology? I'd be like, what was she going to apologize for? Being so fantastic? I'm taking that based off of all the stuff that I hear about her, the little bit of stuff that I hear about her, right? I don't know. I'm going to say, I think we're going to see a repackaging of Billie Eilish, and I think we're going to see some careful PR stuff coming out.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right, so do you have an apology? Are you sorry now?
I am sorry now, and I am going to apologize for a joke I tried to make in this very episode about...
that's cheating.
And it's like, hey, you really should have been listening to what your mouth was saying when it was talking. But I wasn't. I was like, oh, that's so clever. Look what I've done. And, oh, no, that wasn't clever at all. And so I apologize. That was quite inappropriate, and I'm embarrassed. And I think we leave it in, right? Especially now since it's my apology.
Okay, sure. So I had an apology that I was going to make for something, and I remember thinking that it was something that was really personal, and did I want to put it on the podcast because it was so personal, and I felt really bad about it, and I promptly forgotten what it was.
That is called defense mechanism, and
that's
good
right.
for you.
My defense mechanisms are working extremely well. They're 90% of my personality. So I'll have to do maybe 2 apologies next week to make up for having forgotten my one. So well, sorry about that. I've been trying this whole podcast to remember it, and I just can't.
We will just say that my apology was enough for the both of us.
Thank you.
So
yes, I apologize for being on a podcast where somebody made a joke about Asians and boats.
Yes, that was terrible.
It was not a good joke.
And like Billie Eilish, I was unaware of what I was doing while I was doing it.
There. She didn't say that. Well, she did say that. Yeah, she did totally say that. She didn't know what she was doing.
Yeah.
But you, on the other hand, did.
Well, and I, on the other hand, am 3 times older than Billie Eilish. So, yeah, I have 9 times less the excuse, if my math is correct.
Yeah, not 9 times. Are you 9 times older than
Well, it works in inverse proportions because you don't know anything about math, Juliette.
I don't. It's true. I'll have to call Brent over and ask him how to figure this out.
No.
My husband, the man who understands math.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So on that note, I think we're done for today. Is that right?
Oh, yes. We are done for the day.
All right.
Billie Eilish, you are not being canceled.
No, have a great whatever you're going to have, everybody. This will come out on Wednesday, so have a great end of the week and then a weekend, and we will talk to you next week.
Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Apologies Accepted, the podcast.
You can find links to the articles and the sources in the show notes.
To submit an apology or find out more, visit us at apologiesaccepted.net, where you can also find our merchandise.
We're on Twitter at Apologies Accepted.
And on Instagram at apologies.accepted.
You can support our important work at Patreon.com/Apologies Accepted.
And fuck Facebook.
Bye.
Bye.